Hi folks, welcome to the new track guide for Road Atlanta, one of my favourite circuits, absolutely awesome in the Super Formula Lights. So yeah, let's crack on with it and learn together. Yes, welcome to Road Atlanta. What a great little circuit this is. This is surprisingly, I've never braked later round here than I ever have in any other car than I have in this thing. This thing has got tons of grip on the fixed setup, absolutely nuts. Turn 1 is almost flat. That's how nuts it is in the dry. It's completely berserk. Sometimes I think it's better going down to 5th, but we'll get over that in the actual breakdown of the lap. But yeah, this in the dry is absolutely fantastic. Having said that, around the wet, it's a completely different animal in the wet. There's puddles everywhere. I should call them lakes from now on because some of the puddles around here are absolutely mahosive, so be cautious about that one. But down in these S's is very, very treacherous. You're going to have to take it easy if you do have a little bit of wet. This with moderate usage, so the weather is up on screen now, so you can see exactly what the two sessions were. I've done it in fixed. Be careful of that lake there. Look at the size of it. I've done it in a fixed race or fixed weather situation, just because then I've got the same weather for the entirety of the session, so that my laps become a little bit more consistent, although these laps were not consistent in the slightest. And there's a spin, so that's how treacherous that is. But yeah, I like showing spins because you can see where they happen. But yeah, in a nutshell, just be cautious in the wet weather. So without further ado, you've seen a spin, you've seen how easy it is to happen. Let's crack on and see if we can get it pointing in the same direction. Right then, in the dry, this thing is awesome as mentioned before. So we're coming down to turn 1 and we want to keep it on the left hand side, and there's an old pit lane that doesn't get used in iRacing, but when this rejoins the circuit about here, that's when you want to start turning in. Now I do leave it in 6th gear for this one, but it might need a bit of a lift off there and a bit of a downshift just to get you up the hill. See how it goes in 5th, but let me know. Get it over to the right hand side, be careful of pit exit as well, and then bring the car over to the left hand side when you see the most of that tree. Now, as we come over the hill, we are hunting for that little bit of curb, and when we get to it, we're braking straight line down the curb and then turning in. We should be okay. Don't cut it too much because it is an off track, and you can give this curb here on the left hand side a little cheeky tickle and you should be fine. Keep the car on the left hand side absolutely flat out, don't worry about it, but as where the road meets the track, if that makes sense, that's where we want to be, and that's our turning point. Nice and gradual turning through here. Try and keep the speed up. Try not to hit any curves because it will be bumpy, but we're always trying to prepare for this braking zone here. So we want to break down the sort of curve from this point onwards. So get on the curve, brake nice and lightly into 4th gear, little cheeky tickle of the apex curve, and run wide. That curve is very, very bumpy on the exit, so make sure you try and hit it as straight as you can without much turn angle, and you should be absolutely fine. People will spin there, so be careful of cars stranded everywhere. But anyway, coming to the very important last 2 corners before the big long straight, there is a dotted line across the circuit right there. So break down a few gears into this. Don't clip the curb on the inside, but try and get to the apex because it is cambered. And then as soon as you get over here on the left hand side, which is that curb, you want to brake again for this last corner. Again, 2nd gear, try and get a good exit. Now, I take a little bit too much speed and a little bit too much curb here, and it pushes me a little bit wide here on this curb. Do not touch this curb as much as I do, because the car will bottom out and you will lose momentum down this massive straight. This straight is absolutely huge. It's ridiculous for this size of circuit. Slipstream is virtually undefendable, so don't even bother with it trying to weave on the straight and all that thing. Just try and maximize your exit. Coming to the braking zone now, we are looking for that white line. Just before it, you're braking nice and heavy. Down a few gears, use a bit of the curb on entry and cut this corner a little bit, but not too much because it is an off track, and then compromise this corner. If you can get through that corner flat out, it will help you out over the last few corners, but again, it's probably only worth a 10th, 2 tenths if you're really, really lucky. Full throttle down here over the hill. Again, be careful of spinners and people crashing. You can go too wide for this last corner. It's not a problem, and the line does appear very, very quickly. So if you are going too wide, make sure you get the extra exit through this corner because the line is at the bridge. Otherwise, onto the wet. Right then, wet weather, and this is going to be very different. This circuit is very, very treacherous in the wet, so be cautious. I don't know if they will have wet weather because you haven't had one yet this season, and I'm kind of disappointed. I'm preparing for it. Anyway, the wall on the left hand side, that's our braking marker. Come out to the outside and run very wide into this corner. The wider you go, the better, because you cross the sort of clean line and you miss that puddle on apex. The wider you go, the better. Just be careful of the curb on exit if you are running that far wide. Bring it over to the right hand side, and again, same principle as the dry session, so we want to look for that tree, and then as we come over, looking for this curb, and we're braking nice and gently. Nowhere near the curb because again, the puddle's there, but you can take this apex not too bad, and you kind of have to. The curb helps you get a bit more grip on that left hand side of tires to get through the puddle, so you're good. Be careful of the puddles again on the curb here on the left hand side, and again, be careful with the throttle. As you can see here, I haven't gone full throttle at all around that corner. Just be very, very gentle. Brake in a straight line and try and avoid this bit of the curb, this bit of the track, because you'll see here I understeer. So you want to get back over to the right-hand side a bit more, because that sends you to this puddle here on the left-hand side, and I get a big snap because I'm on the clean bit of the circuit and it's very, very slippery. Again, start of this curbing here, don't go anywhere near it, but that's where we want to brake, and you see I'm barely holding onto the thing here. Again, miss the apex through here. If you can run it wide there, do it, but I'm conscious of this curb here. That curb is massive and it's wet and it's slippery, so that's why I kind of stay on the racing line through that corner, try and help us with downforce. Coming down this straight now, I just stick to sort of the middle / right hand side of the circuit just because I need it for the braking zone, and this will be the typical normal braking zone here. So braking massively early at this white line across the circuit here, and brake sort of towards the outside of the corner. We will cross the dirty line, or the clean line I should say, but keep away, you can see, sort of keep a car's width away from the curb. You see I'm still snapping here when I'm coming back across the circuit, massive snaps of oversteer, and then when we get to this point, sort of brake nice and easy. Again, you can take the apex here. I didn't find it was too much grip, and I didn't find any more grip on the outside because you get close to the puddle and the curbing there as well, so I want to stay away from it to try and get the drive out of the corner. So this is why I sort of stay on the racing line to that last corner. Now we're coming to the last section, so that corner is the most important one because it leads onto this massive straight again. So now we're coming to the last chicane, and again, it's going to be slipstream fest down here, so do the best you can. You can't really defend it, but brake way in the middle. So we're braking at this point marker there just as we get to it, and avoid the right hand side of the circuit. Don't go near it, it's dangerous. You lock up and go off into the gravel trap. When you slow it down, get it over there. And this one's, again, I kind of have to take that puddle because I don't want to go too far wide, because I want to take this one, I want to compromise this corner to get on the dirty side and get it in a straight line. You see I crossed the clean bit of the track there, but I want to stay on this bit of the circuit, try and drive myself up the hill. I don't want to go on the sort of the clean side on the circuit under acceleration in that curve, because I do wheel spin out many times, and if you wheel spin there, it's going to be carnage. Last corner is surprisingly nearly flat. As long as you stay away from that curb again on the inside, you should be folding. So the big lift in 5th gear, but you should get across it. But that's us done and dusted. Right, and there we go. The both laps are done and dusted. So thank you very much for watching it and making it this far. Please like and subscribe. Go and do that lovely YouTube stuff. You know what to do. And fingers crossed, I will see you on the track.